Happy Monday and welcome to day one of your second habit. This is your first nutrition habit, and I'll get into that in just a minute with you. Before we do that, I want to take a minute to remind you to do a little bit of reflecting on the habit you've just wrapped up. Take a minute, jot down any learnings or experiences or specific lessons that maybe spoke to you in this first 2 weeks. And you can capture that in your owner's manual, whatever form of owner's manual you've decided to keep for yourself. Jot a few thoughts down before you move on into this next habit. The other piece about our previous habit is this is one that you can continue along with as we move through the program. So as we move through habits, we'll be building on top of the previous habits that we've been working on. Some of the habits we come to in the year, as I've mentioned before, are experiment habits. So you really just do those over the duration of the 2 weeks and then take what you've learned from them and apply that. Others are meant to be habits that are ones that you hope to stick with. So making time or taking a 5-minute action are habits that we hope you will continue along with as you move through going forward, taking a little bit of time to focus on your own health and wellness each day. Now, on to our second habit, which is eat slowly. This one is a biggie and an awesome one. You may have all kinds of experiences as you work through this one. And although it sounds super simple, it can be a real interesting one to put into practice for so many reasons. Some of them personal reasons about why we eat the way we do, and others just the way our society looks at eating and giving ourselves time to slow down and eat our meals. If you take nothing else out of this entire program over the year, I hope you take more than just this, but if you only take this one habit along with you moving forward, you will have made huge progress for yourself. Slowing down and eating mindfully has so many awesome domino effects for positive health and wellness that it really is a key habit for us and what we call an anchor habit. So over the next 2 weeks, the lessons will focus on giving you tips and tricks about mindful eating and slow eating and kind of tuning into what you're having at your meal times and all of the benefits that come along with doing that. Now, when you start off with this today and tomorrow, these first couple of days, you may even want to just start with paying attention to what your eating speed is like to start with. So doing a little bit of noticing and naming what's going on around your meal times. How do you feel? How do you experience it? And even just reminding yourself that you're focusing on slowing down can be a big one. Some people have found benefits with things like using a Post-it note or reminders on a watch or on your phone. Ways just to remind you that when you sit down to have your meal or when you're having your meal, sometimes it's not always sitting down for some, that your focus is on slowing down. So if you've timed a meal, which is a great way to start as well, and had a look at what your speed of eating is right now, know that this is one of those habits where there's different levels and you can adjust and individualize how you perform this practice each day for yourself based on where you're starting from. So if you're sitting down or having your meal in about 3 to 5 minutes, which wouldn't be that unusual, believe it or not, jumping from that to thinking about a 20-minute meal may be a big leap and feel like something that ends up not really being doable. So think about adding a couple of minutes onto that, or seeing if you can use some of the strategies that will be talked about, things like taking breaths between bites, setting your utensils down. I know one that was a really big one for me was actually making sure that I finished chewing and swallowing the food that was in my mouth before I put my next bite in, which was a real eye-opener that, the next bite was actually coming in before the one that was in there was even finished. So this one has a lot of experience components to it. So get in there and notice and name what's going on. And just because you notice something doesn't necessarily mean you have to do something about it right away. Just calling it out and being more aware is really a big component of what we're doing with this habit. So there'll be lots of great stuff over these couple of weeks. You'll be able to add additional things to your owner's manual. And if you'd like to have a chat about how you might implement this particular habit for yourself, pop in and book a call with me and we can have a chat about it. Once you've decided how you want to practice this habit, it will give you some idea of what to tick off, what will allow you to tick off a yes for this habit each day. So you don't only get a yes here if you've eaten every meal, taken 20 minutes to sit in a serene environment and mindfully consume every meal. Really what we're looking for is that you're making progress from your starting point of where you're starting out with your eating speed for your meals. So think about picking a doable plan, a clear goal for yourself about how you're going to implement this practice, and reach out if you want to chat about it. Okay, I hope you have an awesome week, and I'll talk to you soon.